Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're zeroing in on the United Kingdom, that island nation just off the northwest coast of mainland Europe. It's a place that really captures the imagination.
Absolutely. And what's really interesting, I think, is that when we talk about the UK, we're actually talking about, well, a combination of four places: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
Right, each with its own distinct feel.
Exactly. And that adds to the whole experience.
It really does. And it's this incredible mix, isn't it? You've got these huge cultural landmarks and then these royal traditions going back ages. And then you see these amazing old buildings, but they're set in these really green landscapes, and the cities have this real buzz about them.
But then you also have the quiet villages too, a real contrast.
Totally. So the idea for this deep dive today is to kind of go beyond the usual tourist stuff and really dig into what makes a UK visit special.
Yeah, what are those really intriguing bits for someone thinking about going?
And we're using FlightNHotels.com as a bit of a guide here. They've put together a pretty detailed look at planning a UK trip, flights, hotels, car rentals, the lot.
A good starting point then. So, okay, why do people want to visit the UK? What's that initial hook?
Well, I think one of the first things you notice is just the sheer amount of history. It's not just in museums, it's kind of everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. You could be like walking near an old Roman road 1 minute and then on a modern motorway the next.
Right. And seeing centuries-old castles standing next to, super modern buildings. It's that clash or blend of eras.
It really is layered. And it's not just about ancient stones either. Think about the people who came from the UK, people who genuinely changed the world.
Like Shakespeare, obviously, Isaac Newton, Darwin. Their influence is still massive today.
Exactly. And that cultural impact hasn't stopped. The UK is still, a big player in music, fashion, politics, art. It's constantly evolving.
It's a living history, in a way.
Which is fascinating. So, okay, beyond that general history and culture vibe, what are some specific, unique UK highlights?
Well, the royal family stuff definitely stands out, doesn't it? The palaces, the ceremonies.
It does capture the imagination globally. It's more than just buildings. It's about seeing these long-standing traditions, still playing a role.
And then you've got the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, places officially recognized as, incredibly important globally.
Right, like Stonehenge. Still so much mystery around it.
Totally. How did they even build it? And the Tower of London? So many stories. Kings, queens, prisoners.
Yeah, you can almost feel the history in the walls there. But it's not all history in buildings. The natural side is pretty spectacular, too.
Oh, for sure. The Lake District, for instance. Just beautiful.
Those lakes, the mountains. It's incredibly peaceful. Great for hikers or just escaping.
Yeah, or the Scottish Highlands. So dramatic. So wild.
Just stunning landscapes. And then back to the urban side. The cities have such energy. London, of course, is massive.
A world city, really. But Edinburgh is amazing, too, perched up on its rock. And Manchester, that industrial past, the music scene.
Each one's got its own character, definitely.
Yeah.
And we should mention the literary side, too. People like Jane Austen.
Right. Her books are still so popular. And more recently, J.K. Rowling. That whole world she created.
It's a strong tradition of storytelling. And often those stories really tap into or even shape what it means to be British,
Interesting point. And the food scene, you mentioned that briefly.
Yeah, it's become incredibly diverse.
Yeah.
Reflecting multiculturalism, historical ties, lots of interesting flavors to explore now.
Okay, so that gives us a good overview. Let's maybe zoom in on some key destinations, starting with the big one, London.
Right, London, capital of England, capital of the UK. It's just vast.
Yeah.
And packed with iconic things.
Big Ben, Houses of Parliament, you see them everywhere in pictures.
Exactly. The Tower of London we mentioned, Buckingham Palace, obviously the Queen's, the monarch's main home.
It's amazing how these huge historical sites are just part of this buzzing modern city.
Yeah. For a sense of scale, the London Eye is pretty cool. Those views stretch for miles.
Oh, yeah. And the museums. The British Museum, the Natural History Museum. Honestly, you could lose yourself for days in there.
Absolutely. The collections are just immense. And if shopping's your thing, London's got everything.
Oxford Street, yeah. Big department stores.
Or Covent Garden for something a bit different. Maybe Camden Market for alternative stuff. Loads of choice.
The theater. The West End. Seeing a show there is a classic London thing to do.
Definitely world-class performances.
Yeah.
Okay, so shifting north a bit, Edinburgh, Scotland's capital.
Edinburgh. It's got such a strong atmosphere, hasn't it? Very historical feel.
Dominated by the castle, sitting right on top of Castle Rock. It's quite dramatic.
And the Royal Mile running down from it. Walking along there feels like stepping back in time.
It really does. And if you fancy a walk, getting up Arthur's Seat, that old volcano, the views are incredible.
You can see the whole city, right? And the sea?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the Edinburgh Festival Fringe in the summer.
Oh, right. The world's biggest arts festival, isn't it? Must be intense.
It's huge. So much going on. Okay, moving south again, into England, to the Lake District, totally different vibe.
Completely. UNESCO site all about nature. So beautiful.
Yeah, those lakes, the mountains, it's inspired poets and writers for ages.
It's just stunning. Perfect if you love hiking or just want some peace and quiet in those little villages. Really lets you unwind.
Definitely. And then also in England, you have Bath, known for, well, its Roman baths.
And that gorgeous Georgian architecture. It's a very elegant city.
It really is. You can still see the Roman baths complex, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And Bath Abbey is stunning.
Pulteney Bridge, too, with the shops on it. Very picturesque. People say it's great for a romantic trip.
I can see that. Okay, let's head over to Wales now. Snowdonia National Park.
Home of Mount Snowdon, yeah.
Highest peak in Wales. That's the one. The landscape there is really rugged, quite dramatic.
Definitely one for adventure lovers, right? Hiking, climbing. I think they even have massive zip lines there now.
They do. Yeah, lots of outdoor stuff. It's a fantastic natural playground.
Okay, hopping over the sea to Northern Ireland, Belfast.
Belfast, the capital. It's got a really interesting, sometimes difficult history. You see that reflected in places like the Titanic Belfast Museum.
Right, where the ship was built.
Yeah, a really well-done museum. And also the political murals and the peace walls, very powerful reminders of the past.
And not far from Belfast is the Giant's Causeway. That's incredible, isn't it?
It really is. Those hexagonal rock columns.
Yeah.
It's almost man-made, but it's entirely natural. Another UNESCO site.
Amazing. Back to England then. Oxford and Cambridge, the famous university towns.
Ah, yes. Just steeped in academic history and tradition, the architecture is stunning.
You can just feel the history there, walking through the old colleges and libraries.
Mm-hmm. And punting on the rivers. That's the classic thing to do there, right?
Yeah.
Gently floating along past the colleges.
Sounds lovely. And what about the Cotswolds? That's classic English countryside, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Area of outstanding natural beauty. Rolling hills, gorgeous little stone villages.
Like something off a postcard.
Exactly. Cozy pubs, grand manor houses. It's perfect for just relaxing in the countryside. Very charming.
And one more, York, in the north of England.
York's fantastic. So much history packed in. Roman, Viking, medieval. It's all there.
York Minster, the cathedral, is supposed to be incredible.
It's breathtaking, truly. And walking down the shambles, that really well-preserved medieval street, it's like a time warp.
Wow. And they have the National Railway Museum there, too.
They do, which is brilliant. Even if you're not a massive train enthusiast, shows Britain's role in railway history.
So, wow, that's a huge range of places, each sounding quite different.
It really is incredibly diverse.
Yeah.
And like we said, planning a trip to see some of this, well, platforms like FlightNHotels.com aim to help with that.
Right, pulling it all together, comparing flights from all over.
Yeah, globally.
Yeah.
And finding hotels, whether you want luxury in London or, a cozy B&B in the Cotswolds.
Lots of accommodation options and car rentals, too. That sounds useful for exploring.
Definitely. Especially for those more rural areas, like the Highlands or Snowdonia. Gives you that freedom. And they focus on finding discounted rates, which is always good.
Always helps. And it's good that people can use it from different places like India, the US, UAE, Europe. Kind of a one-stop shop.
Seems to be the goal. Now, what about the timing of a visit? Does it matter much when you go?
Good question. Well, spring, March to May is lovely. Flowers are out. Weather is usually mild. Great for gardens and countryside walks.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Summer.
Yeah.
June to August.
That's the warmest time, usually. Ideal for festivals like the Edinburgh Fringe we mentioned, and just being outdoors generally.
Okay. And autumn. September to November.
You get the beautiful autumn colors, the fall foliage, and it can be a bit quieter, fewer crowds at the big spots sometimes.
Right. Which leaves winter. December to February.
Winter has its own charm. Christmas markets, cozy pubs with fires, and you might even get snow, especially up in Scotland or Wales, which can look magical.
So really, there's something appealing about every season.
Pretty much. Okay, before we finish up, any quick practical tips for visitors, things they absolutely need to know?
Yeah, a few basics. Currency is the British pound sterling. The pound, language is English, obviously, but expect lots of different accents and dialects.
Well, that's to the fun.
Definitely. Transport-wise, the train system is pretty good. Domestic flights cover bigger distances. Car rentals are easy. But remember, drive on the left T.
Crucial point.
Very. And lastly, electrical sockets are Type G. the ones with 3 rectangular pins. So you'll probably need an adapter.
Good tips. So, wrapping this all up, the UK really does sound like this amazing mix of history, culture, nature, city life.
It's a real treasure trove, yeah. Whether you want royal history, quiet gardens, mountain adventures, or city buzz, it seems to have it.
A huge variety of experiences packed into, well, a relatively small set of islands.
Absolutely. And hopefully resources like FlightNHotels.com can make planning that kind of trip a bit easier, bringing all the options together.
Okay, so here's something to maybe leave you thinking about. With all that incredible diversity we've talked about, what single part of UK history or culture really sparks your curiosity the most? Is it that blend of ancient and modern, the city versus country thing, or something else entirely from that rich mix the UK offers?
Something to mull over. What's that one thread you'd really want to pull on and explore further?
Exactly. Until our next deep dive, keep exploring those questions.